Hello again, nice to meet you. In this video, this is the course of information system development, and I'm still on the chapter about the JavaScript. And let's continue. In the previous video, we already learned about the JavaScript, and we learned some basic JavaScript with the statements like prompt and alert and the other kind of statement that you may understand about the array and etc. So next we will continue to the next about conditional statement. I guess you understand, and every programming languages they have the conditional statement. If something is greater than or less than, greater or equal than, less than or equal to, equal or not equal. So you can express those one with this kind of symbol. Okay, and let's suppose I have this quantity unit price. If the quantity is greater than 100, the unit price is 1.2 and something. Okay, yeah, you can use this kind of statement, but let's see the example. Maybe yeah, I think you can use this one. Let's see if I okay, there is no, this one is the, so I can just put the script, okay, like this one. The quantity is 120 and then unit price is 1.3, and then you can just change this one. If the quantity is greater than 100, then unit price will be different. So you can just give alert and then let's say unit price. Okay, yeah, you can put the semicolon and then let's see if I run. Oops, something wrong. Oh yeah, because yeah, it's not the quantity equals to 120. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's you need to be very careful when you run this kind of code, because yeah, here is it is the equal sign. So if you run this, yeah, 1.2. Okay. So unit price will be 1.2 if the quantity is greater than 100. If it is not greater than 100, then it will be 1.3. So let's see if I change this to 90. Then if I run this, oh, 1.3. Okay, that's right. So the conditional if is the same with the other kind of programming language. We have the AND operator, we have OR operator. Yeah, you know this symbol. The symbol means AND. So if it is true and true, then it is true. If it's true and false, then it is false. If it's false and true, then it is false. False and false, then it is false. It's different with the OR. Okay, this is OR function. If true or false is true, false or true is true, false and false, false, true or true, true. Okay, so if I want to check this one, let's see. Okay, I just put in the script. I have variable a equals to 0 and I have variable b equals to true. Okay, so true means boolean, and the type of a is undefined and or type of b is undefined, then let's print in the body variable a or b is undefined. But if a equals to 0 and b is a boolean, so it means true. Okay, so if you know that in the conditional there might be only true or false, so because b is a boolean, then it can be true or false. If it is true and if it is true, then write a equals to 0 and b equals true. Otherwise, just write a equals to a and b equals to b. Okay. Now, if I run, what happened? Okay. So the a equals to 0 and b equals to true. Let's see. A equals to 0 and b equals to true. That's the case. Okay. So using the if, the conditional if, yeah, Yeah, you can do something with in JavaScript. Oh, I supposed to put this one into the test if.js. Okay, maybe you can try later. Okay, so you can put the test if.js in the static folder. Yeah, this one is another kind of conditional, case. Okay, so in the case, let's see, I need to, maybe I need to go back here. Where is the, okay, so I need to change this one again. Okay, so let's see this one. I load the static, and then this is the prompt.js, and let's make a new file. Okay, so the new file here is the test if. So the test if is a file in the JavaScript. So you can make the test if. Okay, so this one. And then if you want to run this, then you can just change this one test if. Okay, let's see what happened if I run this. Okay, the result is the same. And the next part will be the test switch. Okay, so let me just copy and paste this one. Switch the variable, and let's say if the variable is 1, do something. If the variable is b, a is do something. And then if the variable is 3.14 do something, and then if it is default, then something is completely different from the input. Okay, because I don't have the input here, you can just try to do something here. But remember this one, what is the slash? In Java, yeah, it is command, so you cannot run the statement. Okay, so it's only the explanation or the description. You can also do with loops. Okay, I don't want to discuss many things about the JavaScript. I guess if you join this course, you already know the basic of the computer programming. So I will quickly review some of the control flow, like the switch. If you learn Java or if you learn C, the switch, so you can try by yourself. For this example, we are going to learn about the for loop. Like C, you have for, you have while, and you have do while. And if suppose I have this for loop, so let me just give test loops.js. Okay, let me make test loop.js, JavaScript test loops.js. Okay, and then let's call this one test loops. Okay, then let me just, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what happened? 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, let's see. In a test loops, okay, this one I declare a new variable which is counter, and the counter will be a number from 0 until 4, and then it will be plus plus. So once you finish this statement, it will be added by 1. Alert counter, and then alert counter, and then alert counter, so it will be added by 1. After you finish with all this one, so it means it will be finishing at 3. Am I right? Okay, so 3, if it is already 3, you will print here 3. But what about 4? Are you going to print 4? No, because 4 less than 4 is not true. So we will exit from this for loop. Now it will check 4 is less than 5. Yes, because 4 is less than 5. Then you will do plus plus counter. So you need to understand the difference between counter plus plus and plus plus counter. So plus plus counter means you want to add the value. After you add the value, and then you want to print. Okay, so 4 will be added by 1, now become 5. After we print this 5, then we will check 5 is less than 5. No, then stop. Okay, So that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing in the for loop and while. So the basic idea is the same with the Java and C. You need to define the initial value, and then you need to define the condition, and then you need to define what is the action after you do the statement. Or you can just use the while loop and you put all the variables and the action inside of the while. You already learn some functions, okay? So we use the calculate sum function. Okay, now if I have this average, let's see, I have this average. I will call copy. Or okay, let me just give this example in the index.html, and okay, I don't want to use this one. So I just use the script, okay, and then I use the script ending, okay, and then let me just have the average like this one. So if I want to call this, it means I need to yeah, I need to call this one, yeah, which is no testing for this one. So if I call this average ABC, yeah, let's see if I print the average equals 4. Okay, how come it works like this one? So this function is in the JavaScript section. So the JavaScript section will be executed every time you refresh your page. So here we have one function which is called average, and there are 3 parameters. There are 3 arguments, A, B, and C. So when I refresh the page, it will enter this function for total. If you don't initiate any value, then the variable will have a value of 0. Now total will be the A plus B plus C. Okay, and after I do the total, return total divided by 3. So you can have a function with return, or you can just remove the return. It means, yeah, it will do something, but it will not return any values. For this function, I will return a value, which is the total divided by 3. And document.write. So you already know that document.write means I want to write the result. Okay, I want to write something in the HTML body. So the one that I want to print is the average, and then it contains of 3 numbers, 2, 4, 6. So 2 plus 4 plus 6, it means, yeah, 6 plus 6 is 12. And then 12, you want to divide with 3. 12 divided by 3, then the result will be 4. So that's why you will see the average is 4. Okay. You can have functions with no argument. Okay, so this is the very unique point of this. Okay, if I have this kind of function, so let me replace this one. You see, this function has no argument. Okay, there is no parameters here, and I just want to have one variable sum, which is initialized as 0, and then I is starting from 0 until the arguments dot length. Oh, what is this argument dot length? Yeah, whenever I call this function sum, so I can put the element as much as I want. So if I use 3 elements, then yeah, the JavaScript will automatically know that there are some elements in the argument, and just call the argument. Yeah, so it is the built-in syntax in JavaScript. Just call the arguments and the length. They can automatically know how many elements that you want to provide, and you want to access for every element. And this element you can just change, or you can just convert from the values, if it is a string, then you want to pass it into integer. So this kind of code is to avoid the errors. Okay, so once you get the integer, you will do the summation and put the values into the variable sum, and finally you will just return the summation. Let's see if I run this. 7. Oh, how I get the 7? Yeah, because it is 1, 2, and 4. 1 plus 2 plus 4, it equals to 7. Okay, so that's the function and return values. If in some cases you want to pass the value from Python to JavaScript, okay, you have your data in your database and you retrieve it using the Python. There might be necessary to run algorithm or some measurement in JavaScript to the performance issues. So if the algorithm is very tough in your server, then you may run it into the JavaScript. So in that case, you need to pass the data from Python to the JavaScript, and the passing media is the HTML. How can we use the way? So let's see. I have one file, you already have the views.py, and let's make one function. Okay, so this is the function in the Python, so def analysis. And it will render a new HTML file, which is the analysis.html. So let's see. Oh, okay, this is the views.py, and let me give one more. Yeah, this is the analysis request, and there's one data, and the data is an array. Okay, I guess if it is in Python, we call it list. So the list is the list contains 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I call this analysis, I will render to the HTML file, and the file name is analysis.html. And the data will be shown in the data of the analysis.html. Now, let's see the next one. I need to declare the analysis.html. So just copy and paste this one, and then you can go to template, and then let's make a new HTML file, and the name will be analysis. Okay. Okay. Now you have a new a new HTML file, which is the analysis.html. I will explain later. I will explain after this one. So please remember that every time you want to run your code in Django, you need to have at least 3 views, yeah, and then the template or the HTML file, and then the link or the path to access the particular function. So let's give one link, which is the analysis, yeah, and this analysis will be after the after the home. Okay, you have the analysis. Now if you check this one, the analysis is something wrong. Why? Oh yeah, you need to add the analysis. Okay, it's not only home, but yeah, you need to import the analysis, because it is one function in the URL in the views.py, and you want to access here. So let's see if I have this one. This one. This is this one is the. I need to put the analysis. Yeah, we have one list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How can I get this one? How can I get this one? Because I give the value here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I pass this data. Okay, the data in the Python, I want to put it into the data that will be available in the HTML file in the analysis.html. So in this HTML, now you will see that the HTML file contain of head and body. Okay. I think it's better to see from here. Oh, analysis.html. Yeah. So here you have the head and you have the body. In the body, you have one hidden variable. So what is the meaning by hidden? Hidden, you cannot see it. Okay, and there is one button, and when you click this button, it will print. It will connect to the print my var. What is my var? So my var will be, okay, here. My var will be the value. Okay, what is the value? The value from the data. So that's why we use the double curly bracket. As you might know, in the previous chapter, we learned how to deal with the name of the function in the Python. In this case, I just want to access the data. Okay? So this is the data that you already defined in the views.py. So this data equals to the data that you have here, and then the value that you have here, it will be the value of the my var. That's why when you click the button, it will print the my var. So this my var is hidden, you cannot see it. But when you run your page, then my var will contain this value. So when you click, it will print the my var. And what is my var? The my var will connect to the my var will connect to the element my var, which is here, and get the values. So this get element by ID. So you want to get this one, get element by the ID. Some other statements contain like get element by name. So if you know the name, yeah, you can just use name. So if the name is variable, you need to get the values here. And then after that, I want to alert. So alert means you want to show it into the pop-up. Okay. So if I call data test, then yeah, it shows in the pop-up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the thing here is it necessary to print this data? Actually, yeah, you don't need this data. If you want to delete this one, it will not affect, I guess. Okay, let's see. If I don't put this data, if I refresh, yep. Okay, so sometimes you don't need this kind of argument, but in some other case, you need this argument. So the flexibility of JavaScript is very yeah, you need to be very careful with the flexibility, because when you lost something or if you miss something, if you cannot figure it clearly, then your program will not work. Okay, so that's what we already learned for the analysis. And the last part that we can learn from this chapter is about the debugging. Okay, it's not easy to debug, okay, because when you try to debug the JavaScript, there is no rule. Okay? There is no such particular way to debug clearly about the JavaScript, because sometimes the error is not so obvious. Okay? So the modern browsers have JavaScript console where errors in scripts are reported. So the errors may differ across browsers. Several tools to debug JavaScript, like the Microsoft Script Editor. It is the add-on from the Internet Explorer, and it supports breakpoints, watches, and the JavaScript statement debugger. So it opens the script editor. If you're using Chrome, there's a JavaScript editor. So you can edit the JavaScript in the Leaf editor and shows the result of running JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. So yeah, it's like if you use the Chrome JavaScript editor online, and you will see this is one of the play code. Okay. Yeah, like this one. If you open the editor, it contains of several section like this one. This is the script.js, and this is the console. Okay, so you can define what is the thing that you want to show in the HTML, in the CSS, and in the JS. So if you give this message hello, and then you want to print in the HTML file, okay, so whenever you run, you will see like this one. So the console or the Chrome, you can see the JavaScript editor. It's not only Chrome, but it's in the internet. Okay, if you want to include or you want to install JavaScript editor, it is a built-in tool in Chrome. In the Chrome, there is one way to debug. You can press F12. So let's see if I have this one. Okay, let's suppose I use this one. So you can press F12, okay, F12, and you will see like this one. So it shows to you about your code. So now you can see that the body, the head consists of the script, and the script is like this one. The script is JavaScript, and there's one function print, and we want to get the variable and something else. And here the body contains the hidden variable. So as I mentioned to you, there's one variable, my var, which is hidden. And after I know that it is hidden, I have another things here is button. So the button, when I click the button, I will connect to the print function, and yeah, the value data type. So it shows the character data type in the button. So these elements are the code, okay, the code in JavaScript. You can check the console, okay. So in the console, you can do something. For example, you want to also print this one, console my var. Okay, I forgot. Is it console, or I guess it's not console? Oh yeah, it's not console. I guess it is not console, but it's log. Okay. Oops, I forgot. Yeah, this. Yeah, as far as I remember, it should be console. So you can see something appear in the console. But okay, anyway, I will check later about this console. Okay, I test this one. Okay, I will check again about this console log. Okay, yeah, it's supposed to have another view when you are doing with this console. Then you will show it in the console of the debugger. So it means every time you have the problems in your JavaScript, you need to check every time what happened in step by step. So the step by step of this one, you can see it here. So yeah, the console object exists only if there is a debugging tool that support it, so F12. So you can just use to write log messages at runtime. Okay. Let me check. I guess right in the console JavaScript. Okay. So okay, console.log. Okay, this one. Yeah, I guess we can use the console.log. Something wrong with this one. Console.log. Okay. Oh, should be working. Console.log. But why? Hmm. Ah, yes. I forgot to press the button. Okay. So if I press the button, then you can see this is the console. Okay. So you use the console.log in order to print in the console. Okay, I guess that's all for the JavaScript. Okay, you learn about the basic JavaScript, you learn about the syntax, you learn about how to put the JavaScript in the head, in the body, and in the external file. So it's very brief because yeah, it contains many things, and I want to explain to you with other chapter. So if you want to learn more about the JavaScript, I think you can check the resource on the internet. So thank you very much for joining this video, and we will see in the other video.